Over the course of the NBA's long and storied history, we have seen some incredibly talented players. As Luka Doncic points out, there is a stat for everything these days, like most consecutive free throws, but which players are the greatest of all time when it comes to this particular metric? Today we are discussing the players with the most consecutive free throws of all time, so stay where you are. Before all that though, Steph Curry has climbed the all-time points list again. Golden State Warriors took on Wisconsin outfit the Milwaukee Bucks on December 13th, but unfortunately couldn't get the win they were looking for. However, superstar Steph Curry did make headway in the all-time scoring record list as he moved ahead of David Robinson into 42nd position. Sinking a three-pointer at the end of the first period, Curry took his career total past Robinson's record of 20,790, finishing the game on 20,805. It took Robinson 987 career regular games to hit that mark, but Curry has reached that number in considerably less games, taking just 851 to get to his current tally. Curry now has Bob Pettit in his sights, who finished his career with 20,880 points, which he should reach in the next few games considering he is averaging 30.0 points per game. The Warriors' number 30 is in incredible form this year, and he seems to be in the running for another MVP award. However, he will need his Warriors team to rally, as they haven't been in their usual scintillating form so far this year and are sitting on a 14-13 record, 8th in the Western Conference. How many points do you see Steph finishing on when he retires? We're discussing the new NBA MVP trophy now. Stick around. Earlier this week, the NBA revealed that they will be remodeling some of their most famous trophies in honor of some of the finest players to ever grace the game. Hakeem Olajuwon will be honored by having the Defensive Player of the Year trophy modeled after him, and the Rookie of the Year trophy will now bear Wilt Chamberlain's likeness. However, it is a different story for the MVP trophy, which of course has been named after one of the greatest to ever do it, Michael Jordan. Unfortunately, MJ had no interest in this likeness being shared with the trophy, so instead it shows a player rising out of the base, which is supposed to symbolize a never-ending chase for greatness. Jordan brand designer Mark Smith explained that Jordan believes that the trophy bearing his name is enough, saying, "It's the Michael Jordan Most Valuable Player Award for the NBA. That says it all. No matter what's on top, that's really it." What do you guys make of this? Let's get into those free throw records then. We're starting with the aforementioned Steph Curry. The 5th longest streak in NBA history ended back in January 2021 as the Warriors Legends Challenge finished with 80 straight free throws. Curry walked into the game against the Portland Trail Blazers having sunk all of his previous 76 efforts, and he would also put 4 away, but the 5th free throw turned out to be a little too much for him. Of course, losing out on that particular record that night turned out to be only a small disappointment, as Curry registered a career-high 62 points, threatening Rick Barry's long-standing Warriors franchise record of 64 for a time. The Warriors smashed through the Trailblazers 137-122, but it was Curry's epic free throwing which was the talk of the evening. After missing his 5th attempted shot of the night, Curry then nailed his next 14 in a row to begin a new streak. That was also a new career high, as he attempted 19 free throws for the evening. As of the end of the last season, Curry has a career free throw percentage of 90.8%, which is also incidentally the highest in NBA history. So it's no surprise that he appears on a list of the most consecutive free throws of all time. He is also the Warriors' all-time free throw leader, and there is almost certainly no one else in the league right now we would want on a free throw if our lives depended on it. What do you guys think? Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf is dropping by next. Stick around. 4th on the all-time list of consecutive free throw shooters is former Denver Nuggets and Sacramento Kings point guard Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. One of the league's most accurate free throw shooters of all time, Abdul-Rauf put together a consecutive free throw run back in 1993 which consisted of 81 straight. The man from Mississippi was so good from the free throw line that he led the league in free throw percentage in both the 1993-94 seasons as well as 95-96. He also has the 3rd highest seasonal percentage of all time, .956, meaning that he was quite literally a menace from the free throw line. After 9 years in the NBA, Abdul-Rauf finished with an incredible 90.2 95% free throw shooting percentage, but sadly, he would not qualify as an all-time free throw leader as you must shoot more than 1,200 across your career. He finished just 39 short of 1,161. An incredible story about his prowess from the free throw line comes from his high school days as detailed in Denver's Mile High magazine. At Gulfport High School, the basketball coach offered his players an incentive. They could shave minutes off practice by hitting consecutive free throws. Every successful consecutive shot meant less running and fewer drills. One day Chris was the shooter. He made 283 shots in a row. Practice was canceled on that day. Incredible. Give us your best memories of the man formerly known as Chris Jackson below. Next up, it's Dirk Nowitzki. Germany's Nowitzki is third on the all-time consecutive free throw list with 82 in a row, which he managed to achieve back in 2011. The versatile power forward was one of the best shooters the NBA has ever seen for his size, and across his career in the top league, Dirk made 88% of his free throws. Back in 2006, Nowitzki proved his mettle by winning the NBA All-Star three-point contest and is also one of just 9 members of the fabled 50-40-90 club, along with some other heavy hitters, including recent inductee Kyrie Irving. Nowitzki also finished his career with a free throw percentage of 90.1%, and back in 2011, the standout German set another NBA record when he made 24 consecutive free throws in one game. Incidentally, that game happened to be Game 1 of the conference finals against the Thunder. Nowitzki's epic streak of 82 consecutive free throws came to an end against the Memphis Grizzlies in October 2010, which had spanned across 2 seasons. Nowitzki would end his career 6th on the all-time leading scorers list, less than 1,000 behind the legendary Michael Jordan, which was almost certainly assisted by his excellent form from the free throw line. Nowitzki is now a special advisor to the Dallas Mavericks, having spent the entirety of his NBA career with the Texas outfit. Who's the best free thrower in history for you? Jose Calderon is coming through now. Stay with us. Spain's Jose Calderon holds the record for the second longest consecutive free throw streak in history with an incredible 87. The former Raptors man was a deadly free throw shooter, and his form in the 2008 and 2009 season when he set the record was second to none. One of the most efficient season performances the league has ever seen. Calderon made 151 from an attempted 154 free throws that season and set the record for the best seasonal free throw percentage of all time, along the way with .981. Calderon himself outlined the mentality of the free thrower, explaining that, quote, "Free throws should be the easiest one. It's always the same. You're not moving. There's no defense. It's just you." That's when mentally you start getting into everything. I was able to disconnect from everything every time I was stepping on the line, which is an absolute fascinating insight. Of course, Calderon wasn't a particularly high-volume free throw shooter and only took 2.3 shots per game on average, which many people suggested made it easier to rack up such a high average, but Jose disputed that by suggesting that it's actually even more complicated, considering you have to stay ready. Of course, there was plenty of interest on whether he would break the all-time consecutive record, but unfortunately he would just fall short. However, his incredible 08-09 season should be seen as the bar for which every free throw shooter should be comparing themselves to these days. And finally, we're talking about Michael Williams. Stay tuned. What a year 1993/94 was for free throw shooters. Michael Williams' incredible form from the free throw line saw him set the record for the most free throws converted in a row with 97. That's 10 more than his nearest challenger, the aforementioned Jose Calderon. Williams set the record whilst playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but somewhat surprisingly, he would finish the 1992-93 season only 4th in free throw accuracy with 90.7%. Of course, he would see out the season by sinking his final 84 free throws, but he didn't let the offseason break dilute his focus. I mean, he had already beaten Calvin Murphy's 1981 record of 78 in a row by that point. He started 1993-94 in the same form as he sank his first 13 free throws to move to 97 straight, but sadly wouldn't reach 100. I mean, nobody has even come close to 100, so he can probably rest assured that his record will stand for quite some time. The 1989 NBA champion finished his career with 4,533 points, a lot of which came from the free throw line. At 6'2", Williams was somewhat undersized for an NBA player, but he made his accuracy from the free throw line work for him, and for that reason became one of the all-time greats and holds one of the most impressive records of all time. Who is the best current free throw shooter in the NBA? Let us know below. As usual, thanks for dropping in on us today, and remember to swing by again next time when we will be discussing all sorts of other cool bits and pieces. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Bye guys, thanks for watching.